In this video, guys, I'm going to talk about if you're spread betting the Dow, one little hack you can use to make your life easier when charting. Stay tuned. Hey guys, a warm welcome to you. So some of you might already know this, but those of you who don't, perhaps if you're new to trading, you're new to spread betting, by the way, check out the link in the description below for our channel sponsor, spread betting firm, CFD firm. Go and check it out. There's a link there. But if you are spread betting, trading the CFDs, and you're new, you're kind of looking at charts and you go, right, I see my Dow chart, and again, it's a synthetic Dow that they offer, but it pretty much tracks the Dow point for point, but you have to call it their own US 30 or a 30 US or something like that, depending on the broker, to get around kind of the regulations. It's not actually the Dow you're trading, it's not Dow futures, not Dow cash. That's by the by. Your point is, you have your chart, you're looking at it, and it's generally a 24-hour chart, right? You see 24 hours. If you use your broker's chart, normally it's 24 hours because they allow to trade normally through the evening. Maybe there's a short pause. Some brokers have a short pause late in the evening, but you've got that all the way through. You can trade through the European session, the Asian session, you can trade that Dow. And so your chart tends to represent not the regular trading hours, as we call it, because regular trading hours for the Dow in the UK, 2:30 till 9 o'clock. That's when the stock exchange is open. That's when trade can be done. That's when options are traded. That's when futures are traded. Yes, there are other times that these can be traded. That's when everything is open. It's like a stock exchange open. When the bell, you've heard the bell on CNBC, that's the bell for the open, and there's a closing bell. So between those hours, you're getting kind of real trade, real liquidity, real volume coming in. Generally speaking, that's higher volume coming in, and that's can be more active. Most of the time it's more active. Yes, we get some after hours move when Europe moves. Obviously those futures contracts are moving. The US is moving in the middle of the night or early morning, depending on where you are. But when you're charting it, it's very easy to see all this noise in the after hours session and not see the early session. So how can you solve that? How can you adjust your chart easily without meddling with time frames and changing settings so that you can see what is actually going on in the regular trading hours, i.e. when that bell goes, which of course what the Dow is made up of, guys. Don't forget, if you're trading the Dow, it's 30 stocks are in the Dow. You're trading those 30 stocks, a basket of them weighted. So when they are trading, that's when you're going to get the biggest move. When they're not trading, it's a guess on where they're going to open. That's the whole point. So if you want to trade the Dow when they're trading, you're going to get generally a much better way of trading it. So how do you do it? Let's go to charts and find out. So you've got a couple of options. You meddle with your settings and mess around and kind of see what's going on, but that can be awkward. So let's have a look here. Let's say I've got a 5-minute chart, right? I've got a 5-minute chart, and most of the time we're going to have something that looks a little bit like this. US 30 or whatever it is, whatever broker you're using, and it's going to be a 24-hour chart. It's going to be all the way chugging through. You're going to see regular trading hours. You're going to see everything. Now, sometimes you might want to see that, and that's fine. But sometimes you might want to see the gaps. You might want to see whether we've gapped up or gapped down at the open, because that can present opportunities. You might want to see where we are in relation to the prior day's proper regular trading hours high or the regular trading hours low, etc. You might want to just know where it is. So an easy trick for you guys, if you don't know this, is to use the ETF called Diamonds. It's DIA is what you put in. Now, if you're using a charting platform, you're probably going to be able to access this. You may well have to pay a small fee, or you can use the BATS exchange and get it at no charge at all. But what this does is, because this is an ETF, because this is based on a stock that actually tracks the Dow, you are going to be able to see the actual genuine moves and the actual genuine gaps. So for example, let's say here, this is a close and this is an open. So next day we gap down, which you wouldn't have been able to see in your 24-hour chart. So your Dow, even though the numbers, forget these because it's the ETF, it still tracks, and this chart pattern is exactly the same as it would be on the Dow Jones that you're watching. However, what you've got is a definite break at the close. So it closed at 9 o'clock on UK time, opens again at 2:30. Trades in the day, and then we close again at 9 o'clock. Next day, you can see it opens, and you can see it driving lower off the open. So you can start to see very easily the actual points where we close and where we open. You can change your settings as well to put in the kind of darker lines if you need that. So it allows you to see gaps and to see the prior day's high, prior day's low, and very often work off those. And look at this prior day's high, that was the gap filled there. on the next day. There's a gap here, support. So you can start to judge your trades a little bit better. Another one to use, guys, is SPY, S-P-Y, and that's an S&P 500 ETF. It's going to be very similar, much more liquid actually. It's much more liquidity, so your candles might be a bit clearer. But Diamonds is the Dow Jones ETF. And it's very easy to get, but just a little trick that you can do if you want to see the regular trading hours, you want to see the gaps, you want to see genuinely where the market actual cash index opens, and you haven't got access to that for whatever reason, you don't want to adjust your chart, very easy to use these ETFs, either the SPY for the S&P 500 or the DIA for the Dow. One final one you can use as well, guys, if you're trading the NASDAQ, is the QQQ. That is the NASDAQ ETF, and that's exactly the same thing as the Diamonds and the Spiders. So it will track, but it will close, especially if you just got it on regular trading hours, it will close, so you'll be able to see those gaps, you'll be able to see what's happened. And so what you can do very, very quickly is have a couple of charts up. You can have a 24-hour chart to see what's happened overnight, and you can have your regular trading hours chart on that ETF to see the pattern at least. The price will be different, but the pattern at least of what's happened during the past few days with the gaps, with the highs, with the lows. Very, very useful, guys. All right, see you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.